no NBA playoff games the past 2 nights, and while the league left a window open for games to resume tonight, Adrian Wojnarowski is reporting that the expectation is that games resume Saturday. So with potentially 3 days totally off from playing, Skip, I want to ask you, which team will be hurt the most by this postponement?
Mr. Sharp, I have 2, and I'll take them in reverse order. The least maybe affected of these 2 teams that they're going to be troubled are the Bucks. And we just talked about the Bucks and how they were internally split all the way up to tip-off of the Orlando game. Is your heart in it? Is it not in it? Back and forth. So it's interesting to me, and maybe not coincidental, they have recently, the last couple of days, fallen from 1st to 3rd in the odds, the betting odds, the odds makers' odds. Now, Lakers, Clippers are co-favorites. Bucks are just barely 3rd, but still, they were 1st just a few days back. So is Las Vegas looking at them like, is your heart in it or not? Well, I don't know. You've been around a lot of teams. You know how that internal heart of the team can be broken. It can be lost, and maybe you just don't really feel like playing basketball, which leads me to the team that I picked to win it all, the Clippers. I think they could be even more troubled, and we start with their coach, my favorite coach, Doc Rivers. As we know, he just went viral spilling his guts over the racial justice issues that continue to haunt the black community, to cause such agony and pain and fear in your community. Doc was eloquent and powerful in the message he delivered. His players heard it too. And they know how his heart is broken. And going to the bubble, was there any team less troubled than or I should say more troubled than the Clippers? About should we, shouldn't we? Is it time to play basketball or not? Lou Williams is on the fence, a number of other players on the fence. Should we even go there and play?
And then you had several players leave the bubble.
You have. For different reasons. We could go all through them, but Lou Williams obviously went to Atlanta, and I don't want to make jokes about it, but he was really on the fence about going to the bubble in the first place. Now we have Paul George, who has issues, cabin fever issues in the bubble, and he went through, as he said, anxiety and depression, maybe in need of some counseling, just stuck in the bubble for a couple of months. And now we even had reportedly Kawhi Leonard, a quiet man, but he was reportedly ready to not play and to end the playoffs on Wednesday night. And then there was the Doc Rivers story of yesterday, and he said they thought it was over. His whole team thought it was over when they walked out of that meeting behind LeBron James on Wednesday night. Of course, he was asking yesterday, well, where are they now? And he said, oh, they want to play. They're really looking forward to it. I can't trust that. After all this team has been through, I can't trust that, Doc. I'm sorry. I wish I could. But here's my final problem with the Clippers. And I still like them as a team, but it was widely reported, your man LeBron James, as he walked out, some Lakers and most of the Clippers followed him out of the meeting. It troubles me because they look to LeBron for the signal of how they should handle it. They were following the leader, who is LeBron James, who's leading both teams. Okay, well, that doesn't feel right to me. You should have your own internal leadership, and I've told you from the start, I'm not sure who the team leader is. Kawhi's not a natural-born leader. Paul George, obviously, to me, he's more complimentary star. He's not the leader emotionally out front of this team. A lot of people think it's Lou Williams. And then he went to Atlanta. Well, did he disqualify himself? Who is the leader? Well, they don't have a leader like LeBron James. Is clearly the face of the Lakers and the league. So it was troubling to me that they followed him out like he showed them the way. They weren't sure what to do until he showed them what to do. Okay, well, that's obviously your primary competition. You share a building with them in Los Angeles. It was just, it hit me the wrong way. And finally, if we can just go on a purely, simply basketball level, their opponent right now, they're up 3-2, was missing its co-star the other night, Porzingis. I don't know if his knee can get better, but you just gave him, what,
Couple extra days.
three really,
Right.
if it's going to be tomorrow
Right.
night. 3 extra days.
Right.
I think he has a bruised knee. That's
Right.
what they said.
Right.
I don't think he's got internal damage.
Right, there's no structural damage.
I don't think so, but they're still doubtful or iffy about whether he'll be able to come back. But they said it did give him a break because he is, to quote Rick Carlisle, 24-hour, round-the-clock treatment to get that knee better. So, again, all of a sudden, I told you early in the bubble when everybody was missing, I'm not sure about this team's psychological place in the bubble right now, and I'm less sure after what just happened.
Well, Skip, for me, I don't believe it's going to hurt anybody more than others. I agree with your last point that it helps Dallas because it seems to me they have the only significant injury. Maybe the Clippers. Patrick Beverly gets a couple of extra days to rest up that calf, and so maybe he's a definite. Right.
Russell Westbrook was on the verge,
yes.
so maybe he'll be fine.
But as far as hurt, Skip, because I believe everybody's going to get the same amount of rest, and everybody was dealing with the same distraction. Should we or should we not play due to what transpired in Kenosha, Wisconsin?
Yep.
So with that being said, I don't think it hurt anyone. I really don't. I think it only helped a few teams that had significant players injured. As you mentioned, Russell Westbrook, now that quad, because it looks like he was going to play, if I'm not mistaken, on Wednesday.
Well, TNT showed a pregame workout, and it looked like he was going full force to
Right.
me. I was surprised he didn't play the last game.
Right, so now he has 2 days, so now if he doesn't play, so now it's going to be Thursday, Friday, he's going to play Saturday. So he gets 3 full days off,
okay,
that quad to get even more healthy.
Yeah.
Porzingis, that knee, as you mentioned, he's getting treatment around the clock probably every 2-3 hours. He gets 3 days, so now we'll see where he is. Patrick Beverly, that calf, I don't know how much treatment he's getting, but I'm sure rest is helping him. So, Skip, I think everybody was dealing with the same thing, the same external forces that was tugging. What's going on outside of the bubble? How do we, down here, how do we use our platform to keep it in the public's eye and to bring about change? I think everybody's dealing with that same internal conflict right now. And so for me, Skip, I don't think anybody has gained an advantage by what's transpired by not playing. I think a few teams got some advantages by not playing because it allowed a few of their best players to get even closer to being healthy than not. But I don't think anybody lost anything, Skip. Look, I realize that the Lakers had played their best game in the bubble. The Clippers had played their best game in the bubble. But it's hard for me to see, Skip, do we really think that Portland's going to win 3 games without Dame Lillard? Is that what we believe?
And he went home.
Exactly.
I mean, he's gone. He's not even there to cheer them on.
So even if he wanted to turn the jet around Mill Street, he still would have to be in quarantine for 4 days.
He's gone out.
So he's done.
He's done.
So with that being said, Skip, I really don't, honestly, I don't think anybody is at a disadvantage. I think everybody's under the same umbrella for the simple fact they're going to have the same amount of rest time and they were dealing with the same issues. What was transpiring, not only what transpired, I believe it was Sunday in Kenosha, but what is transpiring still in America.
Well, for the Lakers' sake, it's another advantage, I think, for the Lakers because what's left of Portland, I thought maybe they could dredge up some underdog fight the other night if they'd gone on the scheduled at, what was it going to be, 9 p.m. Eastern? Now you take a team that's probably sick and tired of the bubble, and you made them stay for what feels the inevitable closeout game, right?
Yes.
And that's a 1-2-3 Cancun game, right? Here we go.
Yes. I just don't see how you lose 30 points. Your best player, there's no question he's their best player. And the last couple of games, Skip, they've kind of gotten blown out.
Kind of like a lot. Yeah.
So I don't know. And think about it. It took a Herculean effort in game 1. Because as you said, they were behind in the middle part of the 4th quarter, and even it came down to like the very end of the ball game. So now you remove that, your leader, your best player, and somehow you're going to win 3 games without your best player.
No, they know.
Exactly.
And they're not happy that they had to sit in those hotel rooms for an extra 3
There are a lot
nights.
of people that, because Dame posted yesterday a picture of him and his son on a private jet, they like, sure we on that jet with you, Dave.
Right.
Headed to Portland or wherever you're going.
Well, they're going to be on a jet soon.
Yeah, it won't be. Well, it will be private. It'll be their own charter.
Their team charter. Yep.
All right, guys, I want to keep talking about the decision the league made to keep playing, and someone interesting who was involved in that. Michael Jordan was reportedly the voice of reason between the two sides. As the majority owner of the Hornets, MJ reached out to Chris Paul and Russell Westbrook to